Good morning children. Welcome back with the next session of this class. So in this session we are going to discuss the other part of the lesson. So our lesson was landforms in Andhra Pradesh. Landforms in Andhra Pradesh. Okay. Landforms in Andhra Pradesh. So, in the last class we have discussed what landforms are. We have discussed what landforms are. I told you landforms are mountains or hills, plains and plateaus. Okay, mountains or hills, plains and plateaus, isn't it? So, I have also told you that depending on the type of landform that people have in their city, village, town or state, depending on that landform, the lifestyle of the people, the food habits of the people or the climatic conditions will all be dependent by the landform that they are living in. Okay, so in this session we are going to discuss about the landforms that we have particularly in Andhra Pradesh. Firstly, when we look into the map of Andhra Pradesh, okay, when we see the part of the Andhra Pradesh, so roughly it's a rough diagram of map of Andhra Pradesh. So firstly, what we see here is, if this is the coastal, if this is the southern part of the India, so firstly if we see, this is Andhra Pradesh. So Andhra Pradesh is located to the southeast, direction of India. Andhra Pradesh is located towards the southeast direction of India. So here we have the coastal line. Okay, we have the coastal line because the Bay of Bengal, is towards its east. So we have Chhattisgarh, okay, and we have Orissa. Chhattisgarh and Orissa. Towards its north, we have Tamil Nadu towards its south, okay, and finally we have Karnataka towards its southwest. So when you look onto the map of South India, so this is how we can find our neighboring states surrounding us. So next thing is, we have the Eastern Ghats. Okay, so I told in the previous class about the deltas, isn't it? I told about the deltas. Deltas are the raised lands. Okay, so we have a triangular land that is in the middle of, positioned in the middle, whereas this side is known as the Western Ghats and this side is known as the Eastern Ghats. This side is known as Western Ghats and this side is known as the Eastern Ghats. So what happens? So the rivers or the water bodies and as well as this Bay of Bengal and here the Arabian Sea will deposit all the minerals towards the places of delta. So all the minerals like the limestone, okay, dolomite, iron, gold, diamonds are all found towards the delta areas. Okay, so what happens? So this is the Eastern Ghats and Western Ghats. Now, so when we talk deeply about Andhra Pradesh, firstly, Andhra Pradesh is a land where we found mountains and hills, where we find all these plains as well as the plateaus also. Okay, that is the Deccan Plateau. We have a part of the Deccan Plateau. That means the places of Rayalaseema is, I told, most of the part of Rayalaseema comes under this Deccan Plateau, isn't it? So this is what we have discussed earlier, isn't it? So when we talk about Andhra Pradesh, the coastal Andhra and the Rayalaseema are the two important places. The coastal Andhra and the Rayalaseema. Now, coastal Andhra means this is the coast, okay, as it is near to the ocean. So the line, that means the area of the border, what is there, this is the cities or the states whatever are there here, the districts whatever are there here are known as the coastal areas. Okay, that means these states or these districts are, or the cities are are present in the coastal area. So this is known as the coastal area. So Andhra Pradesh lies in the coastal area. So Andhra Pradesh is known as the coastal plain lands also. Okay, coastal plain lands. Okay, we'll discuss about the plains in detail in further. Okay, so now, so what happens? Andhra Pradesh has coast. Andhra Pradesh is known as coastal Andhra Pradesh, as well as we have Rayalaseema. Okay, they call no Costa Andhra. So coastal Andhra Pradesh and Rayalaseema. So most of the parts of Rayalaseema will come under this Rayalaseema comes under the Deccan Plateau. Now, when we talk about the landforms in Andhra Pradesh, we have mountains. We have mountains as well as the hills spreaded all over the places of Vijayanagaram, Vishakhapatnam, YSR Kadapa. Okay, we have mountains or hills spreaded all over the places of Vishakhapatnam, Vijayanagaram, and this YSR Kadapa are the places where there are hilly regions. Okay, so mostly people living in these hilly regions, the first problem what they have is the problem of water, the problem of getting water. So what happens? We if you see Vishakhapatnam is a district where it is located in the coastal regions. That means they get water sources only from the Bay of Bengal only. So that means Bay of Bengal, in this we find only salt water. It is impossible to find the sweet water to drink. Okay, so hardly people get water there. I mean drinking water. The availability of drinking water in the Vishakhapatnam or Vijayanagaram places, as they are near to the coastal lines, they get less amount of this drinking water, that means sweet waters. Okay, but whereas we people living in Rajahmundry, we have availability of drinking water because we have the river Godavari, as well as in the Krishna also, in the Vijayawada and this Guntur districts, they have the river Krishna. So the water what we get from the rivers are of sweet. Okay, that means which we can drink. So whereas the water which is there in the oceans or the seas are the saline water, saline water means salt water, saline water or salt water. Okay, so people in the hilly regions, okay, or hilly regions, or the people who are living in near the coastal areas, what happens to them is they have to dig the bore wells. Okay, they will be digging the bore wells here. Okay, so under this part is known as the water beds. This part is known as, if this is the ground, a pipe is inserted or drilled inside the land. Okay, so these are the water beds. So what happens? People, most of the houses, most of the people in their houses, they get bore wells. So what they do is they just dig a big pipes onto the lands to collect the water from the ground. So this is the groundwater or the borewell water. So slowly what happening? So day by day, most of the people are depending on this groundwater. So the beds are getting empty here. So whatever the water is stored here are getting empty now. Now how the water is coming here? Because of the rain water or the water which is like water from the seas or the oceans, a little bit of less quantity of saline water is all stored in the beds of this ground. So these are known as the water beds. So people, if they find the water up to this level, for example this level is A level, if they find the water easily from this, well and good, they collect the water every time for the use. So if the water is all empty now so they have, now there is no water, no water is coming up. So what happens? They dig more of the land, now they drill the land more now. So to get more and more water, now slowly, if all these are going to be empty now, so finally they are going to drill the land more and more to get the boring water or to get the groundwater. So this is the main problem what the people who are living in the hilly regions are having. Okay, so people who are living in the coastal areas are also having this kind of a problem, but people who are living in the mountain areas and the hilly areas, the chances are more than worst. Okay, for example, if this is the okay, if these are the mountains, okay, and here we have the oceans, So here it is land and all. People whose houses are on the mountains, people whose houses are on the mountains, to get this kind of a water or to get the water from the land, it is impossible for them to send a big, like to send this kind of a pipe towards the ground, because maybe the huts, maybe the mountains or hills are above some 500 meters, are above 500 meters. So that much big pipe to be sent down to get the water is very difficult, and it is impossible also. So the people who are living on these mountains and hills have to depend on the rainwater. So what they do is they collect the rainwater, okay, and sometimes they even dig the parts in the mountain areas, in the wherever they find an even land, that means a plain land, they dig the parts, they dig it, and they, whenever it is raining, they store the water there. So this is how people in the early life, they used to use the water for agriculture. Okay, so in this kind, in this areas, people who does the agriculture usually they grow the crops like beverages crops. They grow crops like beverages. That means tea, coffee, soft drinks are known as beverages crops. Okay, so the cool drinks we don't have crops. So tea and coffee are known as beverage crops. So usually the crops like tea and coffees are usually grown on this mountains or hills. Okay, you might have seen, no, Shimla and the Darjeeling. So people are just plucking the leaves of tea and all. They are putting on putting the leaves behind them. Okay, they are throwing the leaves, like they have some baskets behind them, hanging behind them. They just collect and they just keep. Okay, so this is how this kind of soil, whatever is present in the mountains, is suitable for growing beverage crops now. So people in the early age, that means in the lesson of early life to settle life, we have learned that early people have started doing the agriculture known as Podu cultivation. Podu cultivation. So in this cultivation, what happened? They have cleared a patch of land, and after clearing the land, they used to just grow some seeds, or they used to just sow some, like grow some saplings. They used to just sow some kind of a seeds, or what kind of vegetable or thing they want to grow. They used to just put it under the soil, and they used to grow such crops. So every time they grow a crop, they have to shift their houses there itself. So they have to shift their house there itself till the crop is grown fully, until it gives the fruits or vegetables or whatever, wheat or barley or maize, whatever they are growing, until they get the products, they have to stay there. So once they have all grown, they feel that the land has lost its fertility. The land has lost its fertility. That means, what is fertility? Fertility means the capacity of the soil to grow the crops healthy. The capacity of the soil to grow the crops healthy. So what, once one land has been used, they feel that this land cannot be used again, because the fertility of the soil is reduced. The fertility of the soil is reduced. So what happens again? After getting the crops, after getting the fruits or vegetables they have grown, once it is grown, they will be shifting to the other place again to do the same kind of cultivation, like Podu cultivation. So that is the reason why Podu cultivation is also known as shifting cultivation. Shifting cultivation or jhum cultivation. Okay, shifting cultivation or jhum cultivation. Podu cultivation or shifting, shifting, shifting cultivation, or jhum, jhum cultivation. Okay, the people who are living on the mountains or hills have this kind of cultivation known as Podu cultivation, or it is known as shifting cultivation or jhum cultivation. So this is about the mountains and hills. Now we'll be talking about the plain areas. So usually most of the part in Andhra Pradesh have the plain lands, as we discussed in the previous class. Most of the land in Andhra Pradesh are of plain lands. That means the land is even, whereas the land is very much fertile. Okay, whereas it gets the water supply for growing the crops from the river Godavari and Krishna. So every time what happens, the river Godavari and Krishna, when it flows now, it brings all the fertile soil towards its bank of the river. What is the bank of the river? That means, for example, if it is river Godavari coming, okay, it is all river Godavari flowing, okay, river Godavari. So for example, this is the place where people come and stand. So this is the area where it deposit all the good amount of soil here. Okay, whenever the water comes towards the ends, it deposits some kind of a soil here. So this soil is known as fertile soil. This soil is known as fertile soil, that is very good for cultivation. So usually the fertile soil is all deposited in the banks of the rivers. So with the help of Godavari and the river Krishna, we people in Andhra Pradesh have most of our grains growing in India. So most of our crops are growing in India. Okay, that is because only of Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so that is the reason why this plain areas or the coastal plain areas are known as the granary of India. The coastal plain areas are known as the granary of India. That means producing grains. Okay, that is why it is known as granary of India. So not only because of river Godavari and Krishna, in the plain areas like okay, Vamsadhara and Penna rivers, so there are some rivers which are also getting some fresh water, like this fertile soil towards its banks. So these farmers could easily collect them and use them for growing their crops. Okay, so this helps them for growing crops. So most of the crops, so most of the food crops and cash crops, okay, what not, every season have different crops. So every season these farmers are getting the facilities of water, as well as the soil is helping them to grow the crops. So these people can easily earn money after growing the crops. Okay, after growing and selling them, they can easily earn the money. Now what is food crops? What is food crops? The food that we directly, whatever is grown, if directly we can eat, that is known as food crops. For example, rice, wheat are the crops that can be eaten as soon as it is grown, and like if as soon as it is grown and it is all cleared, the husk and all is cleared, no, we can eat that directly. Whereas the cash crops like cotton, okay, or the pulses are known as the cash crops. So here what happens, so so this is how the farmers could grow the cash crops and food crops. Okay, now the other crop, the other source of getting income for them is aquaculture. The other source of income apart from food crops and cash crops, the other source is aquaculture. Okay, one is food crop and cash crop, and the other is aquaculture. Okay, here aqua means water. Aqua means water. So what happens, what people usually, what farmers and the people what doing is, as South India, Andhra Pradesh is in the coastal area. So what happens, they get an opportunity of all the aquatic animals like fishes, shrimps, crabs, prawns. So all this, whatever the all this eat like food, the aquatic animals that can be easily, these people usually just fish them, and they just get all this kind of fishes or different kinds of shrimps, crabs, prawns, okay, and other aquatic animals. They just collect it. So after collecting them, they just sell them into the market, and this is how they even find a new source of income now. So what happened, farmers, when they have seen that they are good at agriculture, the other type what they have started is, they have just digged a part of a land, stored the water there. That means usually the paddy lands or this rice lands, so the paddy lands, what they have done is, they have started they've started just growing some small fishes there. So once the fishes are all grown, so what happens, this fishes can be again sold into the market. So this is how farmers have started growing, farmers have started using this land for fishing now. So what is happening now, the land is now getting spoiled. That means the land is not made for cultivating, is not made for rearing, or like what you say, just not looking after the like fishes and all. It is a place to grow the crops, because paddy, the land is so much fertile, it is good for growing all this crops like wheat, rice, maize and all these crops. But whereas the farmers are using the land in some other way for aquatic, this for aquaculture. Okay, so this is about the plains. So final and the last one we have is the plateaus. Okay, we have the plateaus. So what did I tell in the last class? What plateaus are? What plateaus are? I told plateaus are the lands which are above the land ground level, which are above the ground level. Usually the high elevated lands. Usually the high elevated lands. Either the land is raised like this, the top is flattened and the land is raised. It means when it comes down, it gets slanted. Or there are some places even like this also. Okay, extreme like steep. Okay, that even people can even fall. But these are the steep lands. That means slanting that people can easily walk through. Okay, so usually these land on the top of these lands are flattened lands. So usually plateaus, we have the Deccan Plateau in South India, whereas I told Rayalaseema is the place where it has plateaus there. Okay, so what happens in the plateaus? It is very difficult for them to grow crops. Okay, especially the food crops is difficult to grow there. One thing is the rainfall is less in these regions. The rainfalls are less in these regions of Rayalaseema and all. Okay, so if there is no rainfall, there will be no growing of crops. So if there are no crops, the land gets dried every time. So because of the humidity or because of the temperature also here, the land gets dried here. So what happens? So these lands are named as the drought hit areas. Droughts hit areas. Drought, DROUGHT. So these are drought lands which are told by the government that these lands cannot be used to grow the food crops. But these lands can be grown for some like cotton, like these have red soil. Okay, so this kind of plateau areas have red soil, so they can grow chilies, they can grow turmerics. Okay, they can grow this what we say they grow this lentils, they grow this maize. So these are the crops, these are the cash crops which can grow in the plateau areas. Okay, so usually most of the plateau, that means most of the Rayalaseema areas have this plateau, whereas the river Godavari or river Krishna could not provide the water to these areas. Okay, so finally, because of all this landforms, I told, the lifestyle of the people as well as the living conditions of the people has all changed. Okay, so this is what we see in South India, diversity of lifestyle in South India. That means different kind of lifestyle in South India. For example, we people living in Andhra Pradesh, or people in Andhra Pradesh like Rajahmundry, people who are living in East Godavari and West Godavari, these people are enjoying enjoying the river Godavari, whereas the Vijayawada, this Guntur, these districts, these people are enjoying the river Krishna there. Okay, and other freshwater lakes like Pulikat Lake, the freshwater lake, the lake Kolleru, so that is also a freshwater lake, the saltwater Kolleru, the saltwater lake. So all these are the freshwater lakes. So people who are surrounding them could get an easy access of drinking the sweet water. But whereas people in the other districts of Vishakhapatnam or Vijayanagaram, okay, or Srikakulam, okay, so all these places are where these people have people could not get more of this water. So salt, like river water, they have to depend upon the groundwater there. So next, people who are living in the coastal areas, or in the coastal areas, usually these people depend on people depend their income on the source of aquatic culture only. Okay, that means just fishing and collecting some aquatic animals. Okay, but whereas people in Andhra Pradesh, where they are plains and where they are these plateaus, they can grow the crops like this food crops as well as the cash crops also. Now depending on the seasons also, now plateaus and plains are having different kind of crops growing throughout the year. Now plains, people who are living in the plains, or the farmers who are living in the plains, get an opportunity to grow the crops, food crops, especially food crops, throughout the year. But whereas people in the plateau areas will never get an opportunity to get a food crop. If they get a chance also, they have to just use the cultivation of podu cultivation kind of thing, because the water is of scarcity means less of water. Okay, so here people who are living in the plain areas, that means plain regions, So usually many business, okay, many people living there is all the mostly the dense population or the more of population is also found in the plain areas only. Okay, so this was all the lesson landforms and Andhra Pradesh. Okay, so in this lesson we have discussed what landforms are. We have discussed about what Andhra Pradesh is having. That means every part of Andhra Pradesh is having different kind of a landform. One has mountain or hills, one has plains, and other has plateaus. Okay, and we have discussed about food crops, cash crops, and we have discussed about the aquatic culture also. Okay, and we have discussed about the diversity of the lifestyle. That means depending on the landform that their city or the village is surrounded, the lifestyle is depending on that. Okay, so this was the lesson. I hope you have all understood the lesson. Okay, so for any more doubts and queries, please ask us immediately. We'll meet up in the next upcoming class with the next new topic. Till then, bye children. We'll meet up in the next class, and I hope you will be all reading the question and answers, and please, I'll be sending all the question and answers and the keywords related to this lesson very soon. So I hope you will all write them neatly and properly in a proper book. Okay, we'll meet up in the next session. Till now, till then, bye. Have a nice day children.